Recently, a very special aircraft flew from the UK to India. Very few people knew about it because the cargo was sensitive. Around 100 tons of gold. And before you ask, no, it was not some illegal smuggling ring. This is as legal as it gets. This gold belongs to India's central bank, the RBI, or the Reserve Bank of India. Until now, it was stored at the Bank of England in London. But the RBI has brought it back, 100 tons of gold. It's happened for the first time since 1991. Now, I know you have questions, so let's go one by one. Why does RBI have gold? Well, every central bank in the world has gold reserves because unlike currencies, gold is stable. Say your country falls into an economic crisis or you're running low on dollars, you can use this gold to bail yourself out. So every country has gold reserves. In fact, central banks own 17% of all the gold ever mined, 17%. And how much does the RBI have? The Reserve Bank of India. They have around 822 tons of gold. More than half of this was stored abroad, outside India, in the Bank of England and the Bank of International Settlements. Which brings us to the second question. Why was it stored abroad? Well, some of the gold was there even before independence. Indian gold was stored outside. The rest was sent out during the 1990s. Back then, India was facing an economic crisis, so the RBI kept the gold in England. It's actually common practice. The Bank of England stores 400,000 bars of gold, 4 lakh bars of gold. Some of it belongs to Britain. The rest belongs to other central banks. They keep it in London for safekeeping. But why in London? Why not in the home country? Because London is one of the most important gold markets in the world. Say you want to pledge your gold or you want to sell it and raise money, then London offers you liquidity. New York is another important gold market, which is why the Federal Reserve is also a safekeeping vault. They too store foreign gold. Now to question number 3. Why has India brought it back? For starters, you can save a lot of money. The Bank of England does not store your gold for free. They charge a fee. Now you don't have to pay it. Secondly, it boosts sovereignty. If you hold your reserves abroad, there is always a risk. What if the relations sour? What if your reserves are seized? And there are many such examples. Russia has some $300 billion of reserves stored in the West. All of it has been frozen after the Ukraine war, meaning Russia cannot access its own wealth, $300 billion. Afghanistan is another example. Their total reserves are worth $9.5 billion. Around 70% of this is held in the US. So when the Taliban came to power, the Americans froze this money. Kabul still does not have access to the reserves. Now, I'm not saying that India and Britain will fall out or that India's gold will be frozen. But it's always safer to keep it at home. Plus, there is an emotional angle. In the 1990s, India had to shift gold abroad. Every Indian knows what that feels like. Gold has a sentimental value here. Pledging it or selling it is a last resort. But in the 90s, India had no option but to do it, which is why bringing the gold back is a symbolic move, like exorcising those demons. And it's been a gradual journey for India. In 2009, New Delhi made the first step. It brought 200 tons of gold. It bought 200 tons of gold from the International Monetary Fund. It cost us around $6.7 billion. Again, the idea was the same, to diversify and consolidate India's reserves. 15 years later, another move has been made. Now, what will happen to this gold, the 100 tons that has been brought in? Well, the RBI has its own gold vaults. One is in the Mumbai office, the other is in Nagpur. So the 100 tons of gold will be stored there. It's a vote of confidence in the Indian economy. Our foreign reserves are near a record high. They stand at $464 billion. That's enough for 11 months of imports, which is why the RBI is confident. They don't foresee the need to pledge or sell this gold. Hence the decision to bring it back. I guess combined with the GDP numbers, it's one of the best days for India's economy.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.